Hey guys, Ben here. Welcome back to another live stream. Today we are live with the DCTV show episode 116. We've got a special guest, Chainsaw Reacts is here today. Welcome back to the live stream. Good to have you here. So today we don't have like too many topics to talk about, guys. So we're going to rely on you guys in the chat. So keep sending in questions, send in super chats if you want to support the channel, and we'll answer you right away, as always. But also just keep sending in questions and, you know, theories that maybe you want us to go over. It can be to do with anything. It can be to do with Superman Lois. It can be to do with, you know, the DCU. It doesn't really matter. We'll answer if you guys send in any good questions. But yeah, how are you, Chainsaw?
Good, man. I'm doing pretty good. Tired, but I'm good. I'm here.
Making lots of content, but
yes.
Yeah. If you guys can notice, I've actually got a better live streaming setup. I've got my camera working. I've got this like connection that, you know, allows it to go into the computer. So I thought it's about time that we upgrade and, you know, have something a little bit more professional. So hopefully you guys like the quality. But yeah, let's go ahead and jump right into this. So we got, like I said at the start, a few topics. Like we got 4 topics that I've got written in my notes right here. And we're going to go into the first one. So this is a rumor. Now, not all of you guys would have heard of this, but this, if you've been following the DCU and the news recently, it's all been to do with like James Gunn commenting on stuff. He's been super active online. And there was this DCEU Reddit leak the other day that went into Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. And so we've heard for a while that James Gunn is adamant that, you know, to cast someone, they have to have a director involved and it's got to be like that. But according to rumors, the Supergirl who will be in the DCU is going to be cast by James Gunn and not the director of that Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow film. Because if you guys remember recently, there was another rumor that apparently Supergirl is going to appear in Superman Legacy in I guess a cameo role. We don't know the extent. But Chainsaw, what was your reaction to hearing this maybe for the first time?
I mean, it makes sense because James Gunn's running the DCU. The director is going to be there for potentially 1, maybe 2 movies. Yeah. You never know. But if she's in Superman Legacy, you have to cast her. Like, you have to do that.
You have to cast her before the film. So.
Yeah, so that makes sense. I don't know if it'd be like a cameo, like you said, or like a big, like, I'm probably not a big pivotal role, but probably a smaller scale role, or maybe setting up her film or something, or getting us prepared for her movie, kind of like teasing it. But it makes sense for him to do it versus, I feel like if she's not Superman Legacy, he's gonna work with the director to like find, but he'll make the ultimate decision on who is gonna be Supergirl.
Yeah, and I feel like if he's the one to make the decision on who they cast as Supergirl, surely she's gonna play a big role in the future, right? Like,
oh yes.
I don't know if he's not like giving it to the director of that film. If he's making the choice, maybe he wants her for the future. What do you think about that? Could she be a potential Justice League member at one point?
Probably. I think with her being introduced in the first phase or first part of the first phase, yeah, she's gonna play a pivotal role.
Yeah, it makes her important. It's not like a film. Maybe like, let's say Green Arrow gets a film in the next phase after this, you know, he could play a part, but he's a little bit less important maybe in, you know, James Gunn's initial thinking, because he's like, okay, right, we got to set up this universe. We got to start from scratch. Let's do Superman first. Let's do Batman the Brave and the Bold. And then, you know, you go on to films like The Authority, Supergirl, and you got some TV shows like Green Lantern, which I think is going to be very important. So yeah, all this is just suggesting to me, and again, it is rumors, so do take it with a grain of salt. It's not confirmed, but it's suggesting that Supergirl is going to play at least a decently big part in the future of the DCU. And so there is another rumor that I wanted to go over, and it was part of that same leak. And basically it said that Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow could be filming in late 2024. Now, this was quite a surprise to me. I didn't really think they would get started that soon. And if this is true, that means, you know, the screenplay is, you know, we know that there's a writer involved now. That was announced like maybe over a month ago. Yeah. That means maybe they're moving along faster than we actually thought. Like, when did you think, when they announced Supergirl was part of the DCU, when did you think it was going to come out? Like,
I was thinking maybe 2027.
Yeah, me too. Me
Yeah.
too.
So, but if she's in Superman Legacy, maybe it makes sense for the next movie to be Supergirl. I thought the Authority was going to be next after Superman in terms of theatrical movie.
Yeah, we haven't heard much about the Authority, like
Yeah,
apart from being in Superman Legacy, right?
Yeah, so I thought that was kind of setting up the Authority movies next, but
Mm.
but then
I
again,
mean,
they could be shooting Authority and Supergirl around the same time. They
yeah,
could
exactly.
go,
Like
yeah,
they need content to release. Like we know that 2024 is going to be pretty dry in terms of DCU content. I don't believe they've got maybe just like Creature Commandos coming out in
yeah, that's
2024.
all. Well, in Joker, but that's
Yeah, but
not.
that's separate.
Yeah,
So.
so Creature Commandos is the only thing to do. So
Yeah, to do with this new universe, and then you go into 2025. Then you start picking up. You got Superman Legacy, probably the Waller show. I don't know if there's anything else scheduled. I think Superman Legacy is the only project that has an actual date right now. But
yeah, it's the only one that has an official.
Yeah, I think maybe The Brave and the Bold got like a rough estimate, but not like an official release date. So yeah, basically, this would suggest that the Supergirl film, which is Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, would come out sometime in either late 2025 or early 2026 if they actually start filming in late 2024, which, like I said, complete shock. I didn't expect it. I was more like you, Chain. So I was like, okay, I think because if you look at the order of the way that he announced it in the video, I think Supergirl comes up quite late in the video, and so that's why I just presumed, okay, like 2027, maybe late 2026 maximum. So I guess I was expecting them to start filming like 2025 time. I guess I know that seems like forever, guys, but we're going into 2024 in like 3-4 days time. It's the 28th right now where I am, so I mean, it's not that far away. And if she does play a part in Superman Legacy, I can see this rumor and this leak actually coming true. Maybe maybe it's not late 2024. Maybe it's like the start of 2025, kind of like where Superman Legacy is filming, because they're filming around like March time, nearer to the start of March. So we'll see. And if they do cast Supergirl and she's in Superman Legacy, most likely we're going to see her pretty soon. And so I'm very intrigued. Like, do you have any fan castings that you've been thinking about? Like, who could play her?
I've always thought from Cobra Kai, Peyton List, who plays Tori.
Okay.
I think she'd be great.
Yeah.
Kieran Shipka, I think it's how you pronounce her name, who was
she could play. Yeah, I like
from the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. I think she's great. I really bad at fan cast, but I think honestly I trust James Gunn. I trust him to find the right thing. And I was looking at the slate too about what was announced, and I think you're right on the Waller thing coming out in 2025 as well. Paradise Lost is also something that could be anytime, really, because I mean it's like a flashback type thing.
It doesn't seem like it's like Waller and it's like Creature Commandos, where it doesn't command to be like, okay, right, this is we're building around this film or this TV show. It's like it can just dot in, to fill the time right between these big projects.
I also wouldn't be surprised when Superman Legacy comes out, we get part 2 of what the plan is. Because I'm assuming a lot of these are going to be in motion by 2025 when that movie comes out. A lot of these are things will be in like production, post-production, or we're getting ready to shoot. So I'm assuming within the next like 3 years, all these things will be out after 2025 hits. So I think the second half will be announced in probably Comic-Con 2025.
Yeah, probably. I mean, what do you think for 2024 Comic-Con? Like, because Superman Legacy would have shot by then a trailer, a teaser, maybe
announcing maybe another project, maybe announcing your Batman.
Yeah,
maybe announcing your Swamp Thing, because we know James Mangold is tasked to direct. So maybe maybe it's more like casting your Lanterns.
Yeah. That could be one.
Yeah.
I think that they could have a lot of fun at Comic-Con. Like, I really hope they actually make the most of it, because the last couple of years have been very disappointing. obviously due to different circumstances, the strike this year and COVID in the past. But I could see, I don't know when Creature Commandos is coming out, but I guess if it comes out after Comic-Con, definitely a trailer there.
Yeah.
And I don't know how important that Creature Commandos project's going to be, but it's an animated show. We know that James Gunn has talked about, animated or not, the people that are going to be playing them will appear in live action at one point. Well, that's the plan. Depends how far this universe goes, of course.
That might be something they may announce, is maybe some animated projects that are not announced yet that are in the DCU, but they're going to be like max releases, or they're going to be, I don't know if they would do straight to home release like they do with like the Tomorrowverse and stuff like that, but maybe that's something they announced to where, hey, we're announcing here at Comic-Con 2024 Superman whatever. We're going to have David Corn Sweat back, and we're going to bring forth, and then our first official introduction to our Batman in animation first, and then we'll do live action. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, we got our first super chat of the live stream comes from Atlantic Ocean. Shout out to Atlantic. Atlantic says, it will be a shame that Sasha won't be back as Supergirl. She truly put her heart into the Flash movie. Yeah, I know you're a big fan of Sasha's iteration, Atlantic. I completely agree, to be honest. Like, I was a little bit surprised, like, afterwards that people were like, oh, no, we think, they're going to just reset, which I understand because it's a new universe. We don't want to continue so many characters. But if they're continuing any characters, I feel like Sasha did a really good job playing Supergirl in what was a ultimately not perfect Flash film. Like, a lot of people had problems with it. Obviously, the CGI was shocking, which was like the main problem, I feel like. But Sasha wasn't a problem in that film, but I understand them wanting to kind of reset, start again. But, obviously the conflicting thing is James Gunn is taking over a lot of his characters from the Suicide Squad, and Blue Beetle's coming apparently. So, I mean, Sasha hasn't done anything wrong, so I do feel bad for her if that is the case. But at the same time, there's nothing wrong about trying to reset because this is, a new universe that they're building. But Atlantic, keep sending in what you think about that. Like, if you have any extra comments, please let us know. But what do you think about Sasha potentially not being Supergirl in Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow?
Like, I mean, it makes sense. It's unfortunate for her because I feel like she deserved another chance, but timing-wise, it just doesn't work because of the reset and all that. I feel bad for her. I hope that they find a spot for her to come back as somebody else, not Supergirl. Because I feel like she deserves another chance to be another hero. I just don't know who. But it'd be really cool to see her. I mean, how about this? Black Canary? I don't know. Yeah. Just throwing it out there as an idea. I mean,
something like that.
Something. I mean, there's many possibilities. It's just unfortunate. But with the DCU, as I've said, I want a full reboot. I don't want this soft reboot nonsense where you have some actors playing similar versions. Like, I get it's a full reboot, but you have some of the same actors portraying similar versions of the same character. It's like, I don't like that.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan. Like, I feel like hard reset or don't reset.
Yeah,
like,
and they have to reset because
why the big thing is, why is he nitpicking? He chooses the characters that he casts.
He's only choosing the people that he worked with and he likes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it just feels a little bit wrong and a bit bad for those other actors like Sasha, who haven't done anything wrong, but they just didn't work with James Gunn, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, he's been very picky. It would be different if he had picked Jason Momoa to stay on as Aquaman.
Yeah.
To play Aquaman, a different version of Aquaman, but he's going to come back as Aquaman. If they were to say, we're actually going to keep Gal as Wonder Woman, which is still rumored, but they're going to recast. They're done.
Yeah.
Then not nitpicky. He's also picking people he hasn't worked with, but we're in the DCEU. We're going to bring forth in DCU.
Yeah.
But he's not doing that. So that's the one thing I don't like James, what he's doing here. But I'm more interested in the new interpretations of Superman, Supergirl, Batman.
Yeah.
I want to see that. Like, I want to see these new ideas, and less so much about the bringing stuff over.
Yeah, me too. I'm all in for those new ideas, and like, can they make it different? Can they make it unique like Matt Reeves did with the Batman? Like, can they make an impact straight away, you know, out of the gates, when everyone was like, okay, we got Batman in DCEU, but now we have this Batman film that's not connected, but Robert Pattinson made it his own, and it wasn't a problem. So, you know, I hope whoever they cast for Batman, Superman, Supergirl, Green Lantern, I hope, you know, they do a good job, and I'm sure they will. But yeah, okay. Thank you, Atlantic, for the super chat. Really appreciate it. And then you guys can send in any other super chats, and we'll be sure to answer them as soon as you send them in. So let's move on to the next topic. And once again, reminder, keep sending in any questions you guys have to be answered by us throughout the live stream. You can just send them in the chat, and we'll be sure to get to them, because like I said, not too many topics. But I wanted to get your thoughts on one other topic, Chainsaw. So we heard recently, and I haven't talked about this, so I thought I'd bring it up. Matt Reeves, he's involved not only in the Batman universe, but also the DCU. So there is this Arkham show that they're working on. And this Arkham show, James Gunn recently confirmed it's going to be in the DCU. So he's going to be, you know, putting his, you know, hands in one project and then the other project, but not just in the same universe, in two universes. What do you make of that?
More money for Matt Reeves is what the answer is.
Of course.
But I think it's also smart, but gotta be cautious. I think they're using his talents to. He did so well with the Batman. Apparently, he's doing really, really good with the Batman 2 script.
Yeah.
And the Penguin show. I mean, obviously James Gunn's been overseeing that too. So, like, he wants Matt Reeves' input on helping the DCU, because he's already crushed it with the Batman and what he's doing in the future for his own universe. But it's smart to have him, as long as Matt Reeves does not come in and just like, I'm also going to do Brave and the Bold. Like, no, we don't need that. I think him doing an Arkham show helps with some of the work on setting up more backstory within the DCU, especially within Gotham. But you don't need him really working on Batman and Robin and Batgirl and all these other characters that they're doing with the DCU side. But I think it's going to be interesting. And, you know, Matt Reeves can do more. Like, he could step outside of his own universe and work on the ever expanding. And this might lead down the road where Matt Reeves works on and directs a movie within the DCU. Because I'm assuming after 3 Batman movies, he's going to be done with directing. He might still be on as like a writer and stuff, but I feel like he'll be done with that.
Yeah.
So
maybe he can just get more involved after that.
Yeah, I mean, he could literally jump over and start working on a Nightwing movie, right?
Yeah.
Or something. I don't know. You never know.
Yeah, but, and of course, who's going to say no to Matt Reeves, right? After what he's done, he's
the 2-8 movies and Batman. Yeah, the 2-8 movies like put him on the map. Like, he was crazy what he pulled off, because that first film was fine, but those last 2-8 films were fantastic. So, yeah, he crushed it.
Yeah, he did. Okay. Yeah, so just quickly, let's just go over this one more time. So I think, in my opinion, the Arkham show, like, I don't know what it's about, but it's good to have more Batman content. Obviously, we have the Penguin, which is going to be a TV show, but it's not linked to the DCU. Obviously, they've got a, you know, James Gunn has said that they want to at least find a balance between TV, film, and, you know, have them all linked together. Also, animated projects in the middle of that. So, you know, I'm all in for all these TV shows. I just, you know, hope that they get started soon on some of these. Like, I don't believe there is plans right now to really get started on, like, Lanterns anytime soon, as far as I know. Like, I guess Waller's the next live action show that they're going to go in for. But that's not super exciting, if I'm honest. Like, that's, again, a soft reboot. That's you know, we've seen Waller in pretty much every DCEU film at this point. You know, she's always appearing, and I don't think she's the most exciting character. Like, yeah, maybe it'll be cool to have like a Peacemaker cameo in it, you know, because Peacemaker was great. I love the show, But like we said earlier, I would just like to see some new projects. Like Creature Commandos is more interesting to me than Waller. Like,
yeah, Viola Davis is great. You know, she's proven she's great as Waller, but do we need her as Waller in DCU? No.
Is absolutely necessary? No, it's
yeah,
not.
Yeah. Does Waller even need to show up right now in the DC?
Like, are we gonna get lots of Suicide Squad in the DCU? We don't even know that. Like,
no, we really don't, because we just had it and James Gunn's already touched it. Like,
yeah, we've had 2 films already recently.
Yeah, do something. Like, I like the fact that the majority of the projects are stuff that we expected or were unexpecting, but like, we don't need a Waller show.
No, we don't.
I like the fact that we're not, because I was assuming we're all predicting Wonder Woman reboot, but they're doing Paradise Lost instead. Yeah. So at least they're trying to switch it up, and of course the Authority. But you know, what we'll really be telling is the back half of this first phase. What is in those other projects we don't know? Like, what is it? All surprising stuff, or pretty much everything else we were expecting in part 1?
Yeah. Well, we'll have to wait and see. We have another super chat from Cal. Thank you very much, Cal. Sends in a 99-cent super sticker. With a popcorn emoji, and my cat is meowing loud in the background. She doesn't normally meow this loud.
Your cat's trying to give his input.
Yeah, trying to you know, talk on the stream and to get my attention. Sorry. Too busy. Okay, let's move on to the next topic. So we've got this information about the Batman Part 2. Obviously, that's not linked to the DCU, but, you know, it's on brand. I'm going to pop something up on the screen, and it's a report. It's by one of my friends online, Daniel RPK. He's a good scooper. Obviously, take it with a grain of salt, because it is a scoop. It's not anything 100% confirmed, but according to Daniel, Professor Pig, who's a villain, you can see him here, he's very scary, Scarecrow, Clayface, and Hush, along with Dick Grayson, will be in the Batman Part 2. What do you make of that? First off, hearing those names, that's a lot of villains.
Yeah, so James Gunn actually came on and debunked this, or... Oh,
really?
Yeah, so on Threads, he said this is totally not accurate, but when it was asked, they asked about 2 characters out of these 5. Okay. So we don't know if, like, the 2 characters being added to the other 3 is not accurate, or all of it. But what I'll say in general is that it is a lot, but Matt Reeves has proven, like, he's already set the groundwork. He's already proven because the Batman was 3 hours. I'm assuming part 2 is going to be 3 hours as well. So you have a 3-hour film to have all these characters. I think you do Hush and Scarecrow out of these 5. Maybe Dick Grayson's tease at the end, but I don't think you really need Robin at this moment. I think you have Robin maybe in part 3.
Yeah, he's not absolutely necessary. I think Hush would be cool, like you said, Scarecrow. Mm-hmm. I like Professor Pig. He's good in the comics, but maybe
very underrated. Yes.
Yeah, he's very underrated. I could see them including 3 villains. Like, if you look at the Batman, obviously you had the Penguin, you had Falcone. Did we have anyone else? That was pretty much it, right? We just had, you know, the goons that followed them around. So, you know, you already had 2. I guess you could have 3. Like, that's not a big step up. But I'm not a big Clayface fan, if I'm being completely honest. It's, you know, very, in my opinion, very un-Batman-like. It's, you know, quite more of a, I guess, like a meta villain rather than more of like a grounded villain like Hush, or someone like Professor Pig, who pretty much just uses brutality, as you can see in the photo on the screen right there. But yeah, what do you guys think of that? Let us know in the chat. Obviously, as Chainsaw just said, this has apparently been debunked, at least 2 of them. Which ones were the ones that he talked about?
I think it was Professor Pig and Clayface, or I can't remember which ones. Like, it was like they asked specifically because it was like 3 of these have been rumored before, and then there was like 2 added on from Daniel RPK. So like the thing was to James Gunn, is this true? And it's like adding these 2 to the 3, and he's like, totally not true. So is he saying false to all 5 or false to the 2 being added in?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see, guys. As I said, this is merely, you know, a rumor. It's something that's not been confirmed, and James Gunn has denied 2 of them. So let's move on to the next topic. Not much more to talk about in terms of the Batman Part 2. But there was a report the other day that basically said the, top network TV in America. So what would you consider the biggest ones in terms of, over there?
ABC, NBC.
Yeah.
ABC, NBC, maybe Fox, CBS. Like those four roughly, I think, are the biggest ones in terms of like shows that still get a lot of viewership cable wise, because there's a lot of people are just continuously cutting cable.
So are they all available on cable? Are they all cable shows? Cable networks?
Yeah.
So this was the list that I saw.
Wow.
And I thought it was interesting because we got NBC first, CBS, ABC, Fox News, ESPN, Univision, MSNBC. Anyway, the most important ones are the ones at the top, right? So what's interesting is obviously we've had DC shows over on NBC before. We had Constantine, but that got cancelled. CBS had Supergirl. And why I want to talk about this is because of that Paramount apparent merger talks that they've had with Warner Brothers. Obviously, Paramount owned CBS, and CBS is the second most watched network in 2023. So, that's a big deal for Warner Brothers if they do actually acquire Paramount. What's your thoughts on that? Because I haven't asked you about the potential merger. Obviously, it's very early days. We don't know what's going on, but what's the thoughts?
I feel like the government won't allow it. I don't know. I mean, because if you think about it, Paramount owns a lot of IP, and Warner Brothers owns a lot of IP. Now, the same thing can be said about Disney and Fox. The thing was, I think Fox. It's hard to say because I don't know how much work they had to get through the government to approve it.
Yeah,
I don't know. I feel like it would just. It would look, I think, really bad. Because I feel like Warner Brothers would have, because Warner Brothers has so much content that people don't even realize they have.
Yeah, these DC, Harry Potter, Game of Thrones.
Yeah, because Discovery. So they have all the Discovery stuff too. So adding on Paramount with, like I said, CBS, Paramount Plus, all that stuff, and like Star Trek, all of that. It's too much. But
so you don't think it's going to be approved if they try it?
It depends. It depends on if Paramount sells off stuff first before merging. If they try to sell off stuff that they don't think will, because I don't think Fox did that, but I think Paramount could sell off properties to other, things like if Disney wanted to buy Star Trek, it isn't going to happen. But if they wanted to, that would make it less of a thing because Star Trek is a giant IP.
Yeah.
So if they sold certain things off, possible.
Transformers, Star Trek, if they got rid of them.
I feel like they wouldn't though, because that's some of their bigger stuff. But if they sold off like lesser stuff to make their marketability smaller, they have the bigger stuff, but like get rid of some of the smaller stuff.
Then they have like Mission Impossible as well.
Yeah.
So you could sell that to like Universal or something.
I bet Apple would probably grab it. Apple has Amazon too. I mean, that's the thing. Apple and Amazon have so much money; they could literally buy out anybody.
Yeah, of course they could. Like,
yeah, that's the thing.
But there's restrictions, as you said. Like
restrictions
in America, the government has to. There is like protocols that they have to go through, and somehow Fox Disney thing went through.
Yeah, it took a lot of time though. Like there was and there was also the thing about where the gaming studio Bethesda got bought out by Microsoft. That was a big ordeal too, because there was actual court hearings with Sony involved because of the fact that it was like a monopolization. Because Bethesda is a gigantic gaming studio, and the fact that Microsoft owns them is insane. But we had that a number of years ago when Disney bought Fox, so it's just a different entertainment medium. But if it gets to the point where they're constantly merging, we're going to have less and less stuff to watch because they'll have so much IP they can't make all of it.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
It's going to get too much. It's going to, I don't know, in my opinion, as I said in last week's stream, like as much as I would like, Warner Brothers to get access to CBS, which would be great for DC if they ever want to, put shows on there. but obviously they got HBO Max. It just basically would give them more options to put content elsewhere, because Warner Brothers right now doesn't have like a dedicated network. Obviously the CW was sold by them, which I believe them and Paramount actually were involved together in that. So yeah, it's just, it is what it is. I think it would be bad in terms of, the diversity of content, because, you would have Warner Brothers taking in a huge amount of IP, as we said before, just like Disney did when they took over Fox, because, they swallowed up a load of that content. Now you see less and less Fox films, Searchlight films. You see much less because it's all under Disney. They're not going to want to spend as much as Fox spent when they were by themselves, because they had to produce a lot of content to keep going, right? And so you've seen I think the Fox, Studios brand, the 20th Century brand really diluted down, and the same thing would happen, I think, in this case. Obviously, it would be exciting if, you could see some crossovers, and you can see, different types of shows with Transformers, with Star Trek, with Mission Impossible. Like, it would be cool, but at the same time, I just don't think it's for the best. And so yeah, it's just interesting to see this list that CBS is very, very high. Like, they get really good numbers, like NCIS. I know that's been going on forever, and insane numbers.
Yeah.
And if you look back at Supergirl on CBS compared to the CW, it did huge numbers. It got like 5 million like per episode, which is huge for the CW. And obviously the CW is not on this list. It's nowhere near this list.
Not even close.
Yeah, nowhere close. News networks are above it. Like, it's crazy. It just doesn't have that, attention. So it just makes sense that Warner Brothers gave up on it. Like, what's the point at the end of the day if they don't have the Netflix deals? But yeah, that is that topic. Let's move on to the next topic. I'm gonna pop up something to do with the CW now, because I've read a couple of interesting articles and I want to get your thoughts. So the CW obviously have made quite a lot of changes since Nexstar took over. I don't think it's going in a very good direction, in my opinion, from an Arrowverse standpoint. But yeah, we've got this. So they've basically picked up this Hallmark series for the CW, which I presume they're going to air in the prime time, where, the Flash traditionally was, Arrow and everything. Like, what does it say about the CW that they're picking up? I'm sorry to say, but Hallmark isn't a network of quality. It's just,
No, it's not.
It is what it is. They know what content they're making, and I feel like Nexstar is just really diluting the CW, and it's gonna go nowhere. What do you think of this?
The problem is it's saving money. They didn't have to make this show. All they did was buy the licensing rights. That's all they did to air it.
And Hallmark didn't even think it's good enough for their network.
But
it's good enough for the CW guys.
Well, that's the thing. Nexstar is like, they're trying to save money, but unfortunately, it's just it looks just pretty ridiculous. It's not the same CW anymore. Obviously, it's completely gone. Once Superman and Lois is done, it's done. And it is what it is. It had its run. We had a good ride with it, but I don't even honestly think about the CW hardly anymore. The only time I will is when Superman and Lois comes back, and that's it. Yeah. And then I'll be officially done.
We're all done. I think the network's going to be done after that. Like,
I don't know how long the CW can actually
give it a year
last like this. Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like at one point Nexstar is just going to give up, just like Warner Brothers gave up.
Like, and the thing is, I'm glad that Nexstar bottomed out when they did, because imagine if they'd have bottomed out a couple years ago, we would have lost these shows sooner than we did.
Yeah.
So
it's true, but I guess if they didn't come in, who would have come in? Like, I feel like nobody would have made changes.
I don't think nobody would have came in. I think they would have just had to just shut it down.
Yeah, close the network.
Yeah, because it's like this point, CW is like live sporting for like golf, and airing apparently canceled shows. Apparently,
yeah, and airing shows that have aired in different countries, and rerunning for Americans, which is nice, but it's not their own original content. And when they make their original content, like, I mean, they've got like 2 original series that they're actually producing, but I don't think they're even filming it themselves. Like, I think they're just, you know, contracting, you know, and making deals with companies that, you know, production companies that are shooting these shows. Like, there is a couple of shows coming with ex-CW stars from like Riverdale, but that's pretty much it. Like, there's nothing too much to it. Also, there's another strange article to do with the CW. Is that they've just acquired The Connors, which is a show that maybe some of you guys have seen. Basically, it's an unusual deal because this show's still on air, but they've bought the rights to it, and they're going to be airing old, you know, seasons of the show. That's traditionally what like Netflix would be doing, right?
Yeah, normally. I mean, I think it's in syndication now. I think I think they may have hit 100 episodes. Maybe that's what this is that they are just going to start airing this show. Which the thing is that I don't know who even watches this show.
Yeah, I'm not sure, to be honest. Like,
I don't even know. That the same thing about. I mean, that's why Hallmark probably canceled that other show. No one was watching it, so you know. Oh yeah, Candagraph saying syndication buy. Yeah, it's pretty much what I think too. It's a syndication buy.
Yeah,
and it was probably cheaper, so they're probably like, all right, cool.
Yeah. So it's just cheap content, but
that's cheap because they
don't care if it's on the air. You know,
they didn't have to make it. All they have to do is just air episodes. They don't care.
Yeah, just buy it because it's syndicated. They've gone over 100 episodes or whatever they're at now.
And I'm sure other smaller networks that are on like satellite cable networks or whatever you find, like Channel 200 something, will have these airing too because it's probably cheap to get these syndicated. I mean, I remember at one point I saw Arrow on syndication.
Really?
At one point on like TNT years ago. It was really strange. I'm like, this is weird. But
yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, that's like a thing. It just happens randomly to shows like places you've never heard of, or even like TNT or CW, like they get these syndication rights.
Yeah, like CW always used to, like before the Flash and stuff, they would do like reruns of Big Bang Theory and stuff like that.
Yeah, it'd be like Andy Griffith, like old Andy Griffith episodes before like Flash and 8, or for me, it's like, this is weird.
Like, am I on the right channel?
but then I'm like, but then I got used to. I'm like, yeah, I'm. It's on the right channel because that's Andy Griffith for Flash. All right.
Yeah.
You see Barry Allen run.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the CW is just going to become, like you said, like a channel like 200. You know, it's going to be just like that. It's going to be a channel where it's just going to be running syndication buys, and it's just going to have no actual like invested audience. Like, it's gonna die. I think we've all just accepted that, and I think a lot of people dropped off.
A lot of people dropped off when the Arrowverse finished up.
Yeah,
like really cut a lot of the audience out.
I'm just staying until Superman and Lois comes out for the next season, and that's it. Like, I'm done. You know, screw the CW, screw next.
Yeah.
Like, I liked it whilst it lasted, but now it's going nowhere, as these articles suggest.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay, so. Let's move on to the next topic. Guys, send in any other super chats or any other questions you want us to answer throughout this live stream. We don't have too many more topics to go over, so send in any final super chats that you have, and we'll be sure to answer them. So we went over the CW stuff. Let's go over something else. We've got 2 final topics. I'm going to pop it up on the screen right here. This is to do with Joker 2. I think we're all looking forward to the Joker 2. But they've actually released some new photos. Thought it was interesting. I think it's probably just a behind the scenes photo. But yeah, you've got Lady Gaga. She's going to be in Joker. Also, they were saying it's going to be a musical, right?
It is, yeah.
It's a musical. Like, I don't know how it's going to be. It's either going to be good or it's going to be a miss, you know? Like, what do you think? What do you think about Joker 2?
It doesn't need to exist, to be honest with you. I think Joker 1 was good as it was. I think I mean, I get the whole point. Okay, if we're going to make a sequel, let's do something completely different. It's Joaquin Phoenix's first ever sequel he's ever done.
Yeah.
It's not necessary. Not because it's a musical. I just don't know what you do with the story after this.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just don't, Yeah.
I'm excited for it just because I personally really liked Joker. I watched it like 5 times in the cinema or something. Like, I really liked it.
Yeah.
But I agree. Like, what do you do with a sequel? Like, I feel it's doing it as a musical is kind of a bit like, oh, we had no ideas, so let's just make it a musical. You know,
because
like,
it made $1 billion. Let's just make another one. It's like you don't need to. No,
screw it. Let's go to the deep end. Let's make it a musical. When you wouldn't think Joker's sequel is going to be a musical, right? Because it's such a
it's so crazy and wacky.
It's such a grimy film, like a dark film, but. I think obviously the Harley Quinn of it all, that's kind of where they're leaning into. They've got Lady Gaga, she can sing, so why not? But yeah, I don't know. I feel like just all these reports of it being a musical and stuff, I was like so excited for Joker 2 before, but now I'm like, I love musicals, but I just don't think this is the answer for a sequel to a pretty good film. There's another photo that they released here, him in Arkham. So we're going to see some more of Arkham in this new sequel. But again, I don't know. This is more of like a traditional Joker screenshot that you'll be used to. And then, I guess we're going to get into the wacky and the wild.
Ooh, the wacky songs, man.
Ooh, Joker dancing on the steps.
Oh, yeah. To a musical now.
Tap dancing Joker. It's going to be so many
what I
memes
want.
Of this film.
Tap dancing Joker for 2 hours. Hell yeah.
Oh my god. It's going to be crazy. Canograph says the CW will be rebranded to a different name by 2025. Yeah, if it's not shut down, I completely agree. They're going to just rebrand it fully. Like, what's the point in keeping the CW name? No fans of the CW is going to come back if, they got nothing to offer.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Do you agree? Rebrand or it's dead?
I just kill it off. It's done. Yeah. Just be over with it.
Yeah, like next they're just trying too hard. Like, just give up, guys. Give up.
Yeah, because this rebrand is not actually helping you.
Yeah, you've got no money. Why not?
You got no money.
Yeah, why not after Superman, Lois, and Walker, and all those other shows like All American? Once they finish their seasons, which are probably going to be the final seasons of all those shows, just give up.
Done.
Throw it away. Go on to your next project. Ignore the CW. The CW is dead, and it's just history. Kind of like the WB was history, and then the CW took over. So I think Warner Brothers maybe should somehow figure out a way to, get a network television show that they own. Obviously, like Disney owns ABC. We know that in the past they've aired different Marvel shows there, like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So I don't know, like, yeah, we could rely on Paramount being bought up, but that's just a long shot. So I wouldn't bank on that. Okay, we got another super chat from Our Watch. Thank you so much for the $4.99 super chat, Our Watch. Our Watch says New Year's resolutions and plans for the channel. Do you have any New Year's resolutions and plans for your channel, Chainsaw?
Getting our first house, me and my wife, is the plan for next year. Plans for the channel, just keep it from falling under. Me too. And trying to get this guy on my live show, Council of Creators.
I will
get him on. Guys. Yeah, it'd be fun. But other than that, just covering shows and discussing anything that's happening. Because I think next year is going to be, even though there's not as many big movies coming out, there's going to be a lot of news about them next year.
Yeah, of course, because teasing the next year after that. So
yeah.
Is there any TV shows you're really looking forward to, like The Penguin or
Penguin?
Any films?
Avatar: Last Airbender. Then Netflix series. I'm excited for that.
I would tell you what, that's actually my favorite show ever. Like, even
I love it. I love it so much. I honestly, just based on just seeing if the Netflix can pull off Avatar, do Legend of Korra. I know that they have the Avatar world going on. I
would kill for Legend of Korra.
I know the guys are doing the Avatar world animated stuff, and then apparently they might do live action stuff, but they're doing canon Avatar stuff. But if Netflix can do Avatar live action and season 1 crushes it, I know. Yeah, just give me the rest of the show in live action that way, but give me Korra.
Yeah, like do one season Avatar: Last Airbender, then go Korra, and then go Avatar, and then go Korra.
Or just keep simultaneously. Just keep giving us more. Yeah, just give us all this stuff. Yeah.
Well, I would kill for that.
Dune Part 2. I wish it would have came out this year. I get why they pushed it because they want to market it. They actually wanted to make it more money than the first one. Deadpool 3, obviously. I don't know what else. I mean, Superman and Lois season final season finally coming.
Of course.
So, I mean, for me, it's like I just hope everything coming out that I'm excited for is good, because there's a lot of stuff that was this year that could have been better. So
there was some stuff this year that, like, I liked a lot of the DCU films, to be honest. Like, I like Blue Beetle. I actually like Black Adam. I like Shazam. I wish some of these projects actually took off. Like, it's just, the thing for me is, and I argue with a lot of people about this, people say, oh, like 150 million for a, DC film is like, the bare minimum, or, what it should be on average. But when they extend the budget so much, like, how can you expect to make money on it? Like,
you can't.
Flash going over 300 million in your budget, you can't expect The Flash is going to be a $1 billion film. It's not Superman at the end of the day. As much as I love The Flash, and as much as you love The Flash TV show, we can't bank on it being a $1 billion film. Like Aquaman and Joker, they were just special circumstances, I guess, at the time. So I feel like DC has a real problem, in my opinion, with controlling their budgets. They really got to take a step back, look at what they did with Joker. I know that was very low budget compared to a big CGI fest, but maybe let's tone it down on the CGI fest, guys. Like,
I wouldn't be surprised Superman Legacy is between 1 to 150 million.
Yeah, and I would be happy with that. Like, cap most films at 150. Like, cap it, unless it's absolutely necessary to go over that. Because
like a Justice League movie, that would make sense. Yeah, Justice League, but you don't need every single movie 200 plus.
Exactly, and you can make more projects if you keep your costs down, right? So that's my thing this year. Like, in 2023, DC films have not performed. Like, I know Black Adam was just at the end of last year, so that kind of doesn't count. But it would have been great if we saw some of those films actually perform. Like The Flash flopped.
Blue Beetle deserved. It deserved way more than it got.
Yeah,
it really did.
I think that was kind of a victim of the time when it came out. Obviously, it was a strike, and only the director could come out, and that was pretty much it. But I think Joker 2 could do well. I don't think it's going to get $1 billion. I think that was just a one-time thing. Could do 500, 600 max, in my opinion.
I think what helps is that it's not connected to the DCEU. I think the DCEU brand was dead.
It was tainted. I don't think many people going into Aquaman were like, okay, this is going to be like an amazing film. Mm-hmm. People were like, okay, this is DCEU. We kind of know what we're going to get. Yeah. So let's just, not fully go into it. I'm actually going to look up the box office numbers. Do you know the box office numbers for Aquaman right now?
I was actually looking that up right now.
Oh, yeah.
I'm pulling it up on the Wikipedia. So our box office right now is, the budget was between 205 to 215 million, which doesn't include marketing. Box office is 132 million.
Worldwide.
Yeah, worldwide.
Yeah. So, when did that come out? Was it a week and a bit ago?
Yeah, last weekend.
Last weekend. So, I mean, it's not the best start.
It might cap at
300 max, 250.
If it did, it's a major bomb.
Yeah, I think it could get to 300, but it's not going to go much further than that.
Yeah, the box office mojo is saying 126 million. I don't know where the 132 came in.
I'm in box office mojo right now. Maybe it's a day behind or something, but
maybe.
If we look at the Flash did 270 total. Like, that's an absolute flop. The budget was like 300 million, like, in the end or something around that. That was just so blown over proportion, out of proportion in terms of the budget. I feel like films this year just didn't do very well unless it was like a film of the moment, like Barbie or Oppenheimer. Loads of people love Super Mario.
Probably because those movies are not franchise movies.
They're not franchises, and you haven't seen a Super Mario Brothers movie in a long time. People are excited about that. Fast X did pretty good, and Guardians got 845. Obviously, Guardians did good, so good on them.
Godzilla -1 did really well here in the States.
Yeah, Godzilla -1
Godzilla.
is
Yeah,
an insanely good film. I watched it the other day.
so good.
Loved it so much. Spider-Verse did pretty good. 690 million. I think that's a big
690.
Yeah, 690.
Ooh, that's good.
A big improvement from the first, I believe.
Yeah, I think the first was like 300 million. So
yeah,
they
like double.
more than doubled. Yeah.
Like imagine what the next film's gonna do. Double? Question mark?
I don't know if it's gonna make a billion, but I'm hoping at least
800
does more. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think overall, if you look back at 2023 in terms of like the films, ignoring TV for now, it wasn't a good year for these big Hollywood blockbusters that are part of franchises. Like apart from, like I said, Spider-Verse, Fast X, Guardians, those are the franchise films that did well, and then pretty much everything else kind of flopped, right? Like,
yeah, pretty much. I mean, unless you were a specific, because Indiana Jones did horribly. Like that was really bad.
Yeah.
And I think it's just
380 for like a $300 million.
Yeah, and I think it's just because people are not paying for okay movies.
Yeah, we're tired of okay films. I feel like it's just
because people don't want to go.
Give us an Oppenheimer, give us a Barbie.
Yeah, because if you're going out with like say your wife, your husband, 2 tickets is like what, $20+. If you want popcorn or candy or drinks, you're spending almost $40-50 to go see a movie. And if you go see I'm not spending $50 to go see an okay movie.
No, you're spending to go see Godzilla, right?
Yeah, or I'm gonna go watch Cross Virus, or I'll stay home and watch Amazon. I'll just find something on Amazon Prime. There's so much stuff on Amazon Prime alone that's just sitting there free for me to watch. Netflix has tons of stuff. You could just have to search up and find stuff, and that's free. You're paying a monthly subscription, but you don't have to leave your house. You can do what you can stop it. Like, do I want to spend the money, or do I want to wait till it comes to streaming? Because that's the thing too. A lot of the studios were just rushing stuff to rent or streaming. Like the last voyage of the I forget what it was, that vampire film.
Yeah.
That thing was out for like what? Not even 2 weeks in theaters. Already went to digital. It's like they had no faith in it. It's because it didn't perform well, but they didn't have any faith. I mean, imagine if what was it? It wasn't Elemental. What was it?
Wish?
No, it wasn't Wish. There was another movie that came out this year that turned things around. It might have been Elemental. It might have been. It was Elemental because it started off really poor and then it actually gained traction because people were actually talking.
96 million.
Yeah, at first when it first released that opening weekend, it was doing horribly, and then thankfully Disney stuck with it because it actually started making money because the word of mouth was so good on the quality of the movie. But
yeah, and I think that's why you're seeing Barbie do huge numbers. Why Oppenheimer did so good. It was word of mouth. People are going fucking nuts for those films. Like, and
the same weekend, completely different films. So you literally had like the double feature thing going on as well. Like, and it was their polar opposites. So they were actually helping each other and not actually eating each other, where one's going to overperform because the other one suffered because
when traditionally, like, studios have been scared to release on the same weekend. Like, they normally would, like, I don't know, I remember, like, Aquaman and Avatar being, supposedly coming out at a similar time, and, one gets moved, a few months later or whatever. And but with Barbie and Oppenheimer, it made, like, a great double bill, and you could see them do that more in the future. I think they would be smart to capitalize on that success. And just looking, like, there is clearly a fatigue on franchises right now. Like, unless it's something like Spider-Verse, which people are super excited for, or, Mission Impossible or something like that, we're just not very interested. Like, I myself, like you said, I don't want to go waste my money at the cinema to watch an okay film, or to watch a, under average film, or, a DC film. Like, of course I'm going to support DC because I love them, but looking at The Flash, for instance, like, I was super excited for it, but do I want to go back and see it 5 times? No, because, if I was the director, I would be embarrassed with that film. Like, I'd be embarrassed with how bad it looked. Like, the CGI, I know it's not his fault, or the CGI artist's fault. But, clearly something went wrong. And why would people want to come back and watch it, So make sure you make good content, make it on a budget where it's not like insane if it flops or something. So yeah, I feel like 2024 they just gotta, or maybe even 2025, a lot of these projects are already, you know, filmed. They just really gotta, you know, change their ideas. Okay, we got a couple of super chats from Gary. Welcome, Gary, to the live stream. He says, "Hey, how are you? We're good. Yeah, we're gonna end the stream pretty soon. We're, you know, on our final topic. But yeah, thank you for the super chat, Gary. Gary says, "Do you have kids and do you want them?" Classic Gary question. And the answer is no, but I do have a cat, so I guess that counts.
That counts.
Yeah, that counts as a kid.
Yeah.
But yeah, shout out to Gary for that. Also, he sends in another one, which we're not going to talk about on stream.
Speaking of Nora, she was in Percy Jackson, episode 3, this week, which was cool. It was really cool to see her.
She's still active out there.
It was awesome to see her.
Talking of people that we're excited about seeing their next projects, Grant Gustin's in New York soon.
Yeah.
I mean, how far is that from you? Like, is that?
I don't know how far it is from me now. Where I was before I moved, I was far, but I don't know. That's my wife about that, but probably not too far. But I'm pretty sure that'll be hard to get into.
Yeah, that's you know, something. If you guys live in New York or if you can afford to go, might be pretty cool. Like, years ago, I went to New York to see Melissa Benoist on Broadway. Obviously, nice. I was a big Supergirl fan. I'm a big Flash fan. If I was in New York, 100%. So if you guys are in New York, for sure, go see it. Like, that's his next project, post the Flash. But yeah, shout out to Gary for the 3 super chats. I appreciate it. Sorry for not answering the last question.
I mean, I just have to say maybe. I don't know. The show was never going to tell us. It's fine.
Yeah. Who knows, Gary? Who knows? That is our answer. But one last final topic. I'm going to pop this up on the screen as well. This is to do with Superman and Lois. So any final super chats, send them in now, and we'll be sure to answer them before the stream ends. This is coming from Krypton's site. So they've obtained information, which Canada Graphs previously reported on. So shout out to Canada Graphs for that. So they're just confirming that, yeah, January 11th is when Superman and Lois is starting filming. Don't expect, you know, to see photos straight away because they're probably going to start in the studio. That's what they do normally. Just, you know, bash out a couple of, you know, maybe a week or two. And then apparently it's going to be ending on April 22nd. And so, yeah, that is the report. It's nothing too crazy. Also, they've confirmed who the director is, Gregory Smith. He was the director for the most recent season finale. So
that makes sense. Episode. We're going to be continuing, picking up where season 3 ended. Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to be picking up from that. But I mean, at this point, are you with Nexstar and the huge budget cuts at Superman Lois? Are we expecting them to like gloss over that fight with Doomsday? Like, I'm totally expecting that.
I at this point, I won't be surprised if they do. I hope they don't, but
I hope they don't. But yeah. You know, they've got very little budget. Yeah, they're bringing back some people, you know, for a couple of episodes, but it's only 10 episodes. They've got a limited amount of time. They have to kind of, I feel like, just kind of skip forward. Like, even though it would make a good Death of Superman arc, you know.
It would, but it's too rushed. Yeah.
Yeah, with more episodes or, you know, a promise of the next season afterwards. Yeah. This is the end. We can't go 2 episodes without Tyler or 3 episodes. It would be insane for the final season. So, they don't have too much time to get this done. You know, it's like 3.5 months, but we're supposing that Superman Lois is going to come back around the summertime. Don't know when exactly. But
probably. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Thanks for the big soup. Graphs.
That's a big scoop.
That's a big scoop.
It'd be more surprising you said the Superman and Lois from Superman Legacy is going to be season 4. That'll be the scoop.
That will be the big scoop. Gary sends in a final super chat. He says, "When do you think Superman will air?" And then he adds on SEXY.
I mean, he's not wrong.
Yeah. So, yeah, like we said, probably summertime.
I wouldn't be surprised they hold out till fall and have it all at once. Just to get it done. Yeah.
Could be. I mean, it's not out of the question. Earliest probably June. Yeah, they'll be finished by April, but at least it gives them a lot of time to polish.
Yeah, because they're gonna start post-production when they get episodes done. So
yeah, like traditionally they would have just started airing like a month or two later, but they're gonna have a lot of time, which is not a bad thing. Also, they should market the show a lot. But knowing the CW, who knows?
At this point, who knows? I'm hoping they'll market.
Probably no marketing, guys, if we're being honest.
Hardly, maybe.
Yeah. You remember like Black Lightning's final season, no marketing. Supergirl's final season, barely any marketing.
Yeah.
Flash probably did the most.
Yeah, because that was her flagship show for a while. Yeah. So I get it.
But yeah, who knows? Who knows? Okay, we got one final super chat from Alwatch. Alwatch says, "What major event would you like to see in the new DC universe? What's your pick off the top of your head, Chainsaw?"
Dog bark. I would love Blackest Night. It would take forever. It'd be at the end of the DC universe. But I would love for them to try that way down the road, but I don't know if it's going to happen.
Yeah,
it's too far away.
Night would be good. Obviously, we've got Green Lantern coming, the TV show.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, probably won't happen early days. Of course, I would love to see a Crisis film. You know, maybe they title it Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths or something like that. You know, just to get some interest, because why not? That would be cool. I would love to see maybe a Superman film with Warworld. I like Warworld. I think it's an interesting story. Mongol's good. There's a lot that they can use. Obviously, we had a flashpoint with the DCEU. They're not going to do that again. I mean, is there any other big stories that you can think of off the top of your head? Any Batman stories, maybe? Maybe The Long Halloween.
Yeah, I was saying maybe No Man's Land.
Yeah.
I don't know what else you could do. Three Jokers?
I don't
know if they would do that, though, but Darkseid War, Justice League, Darkseid fighting the Anti-Monitor.
I would love to see Darkseid again. Yeah, obviously, Snyder fans would be annoyed. But I love Darkseid. He's the biggest DC villain apart from the Anti-Monitor. So, you know, either one of them I would take. But like I said, I'm a fan of Warworld, so that's something that I would like to see. But yeah. Okay, guys, so that pretty much look at Kennedy Ross, what he says. Superman Lois marketing budget will be all spent on having one guy holding a 3-inch sign in the stands at a live golf event saying, "Watch Superman Lois premiering soon."
Yeah, no date, just says premiering soon.
Yeah, just premiering soon whenever, you know, just a guy in Saudi Arabia just holding a sign, you know, for live golf. We got a final super chat from Gary. He says, "How come so many actors are not having kids?"
A lot of them do.
A lot of them do. If you look up Gary, like if you look at just the Arrowverse, Grant had a kid recently. Melissa had a kid.
He did. Yeah.
Steven has kids, so I don't know what you're saying, Gary.
Don't know.
You know, it's nothing you know, unnatural happening, Gary. But shout out for the super chats. I really appreciate it. And everyone else like Our Watch who has been sending them in, Cal also earlier. And thank you to all of you who have been interacting in the chat with us. So like I said, that pretty much does it. Go check out Chainsaw Reacts on his channel. Hopefully I'll be on his live stream in the new year.
Please, I would love it.
I'm gonna write them down. Sorry guys, it's just that, you know, it's the timing.
Time zone.
Yeah, it's just I've been super busy like the next day after, and it's just really hard to stay up and like.
No, that's okay.
We'll I get it out, guys. Don't worry, we're gonna figure it out. I'll be on his channel again soon. I think I've been on once with Andy. The previous live streams you guys were doing, but your council looks amazing. Like it's so many creators.
It's insane. We hit over 50 different creators last night. We have 53 different people over the course of a few months. So we hit our goal of 50 different content creators over the course of 15 episodes.
That's mad. I can't believe that. That
had 6 people this week, and then we had 6 new people last week. So it's insane.
All right, I gotta get on. I gotta add your numbers up, guys.
Yeah, well, I need you, man. I need you to be fun.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely come on. Okay, guys, so go check out Chainsaw Reacts. Check out his recent videos, and obviously live streams. When's the next one airing?
Well, I'm actually having one on Saturday to wrap up the
So
year. So
tune in, guys.
yes.
Yeah, go subscribe, and we'll catch you guys later. Thank you for watching. I'll be streaming again next Thursday as usual. Also, hopefully we'll be doing a member stream sometime soon. Just the Christmas period has been pretty busy, I think, for everyone. So, you know, it makes sense. But yeah, go check out any recent videos on my channel as well. But for now, thank you guys for watching, and we'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.